Why do you think that is? Thanks.
Just gave you a layup, dude. Just gave you an alley-oop.
Just setting me up.
Just slam dunk this question right now.
Well, Shaking Blake, you jinxed yourself, buddy, because you got a cast on now.
What?
Yeah.
Well, how am I Shaking Blake?
He broke his hand.
Yeah.
No way.
Or his wrist.
What?
And we're going to his class
Yeah, I
from
know.
here.
Well, we'll try to hang out with him still and make sure we get to get some quality time in with Shaking Blake. But, the easy question to answer.
You want me to say it?
Take it away.
Fundamentals.
The fundamentals.
The fundamentals.
People skip right over the fundamentals. And guess what? They override. They go too fast. People think they have to go 100% when they get on the dirt bike.
Every time they get on the bike.
I haven't really even talked about this until this year has been, like, I've talked about this a lot. But prior to this year, I don't think I've mentioned that barely at all. And maybe it's the most important thing is the concept that people ride too hard. And at every level, people ride too hard. There needs to be, I'll be able to hone this in at Moto Academy Georgia and really come up with like a motocross version of rate of perceived effort and create a kind of but the problem is it's very subjective person to person. You need to be able to do the math on, okay, how many days a week am I riding? What does that quality of time look like? How many weeks in a row have I been consistently doing that? How long have I been healthy for? What is, like, there's so many factors. And then you can kind of be like, all right, you know what? I'm pretty solid right now operating at 90%, 95%. There's very, very few people that are capable of riding from 90 to 100%. You have the guys that you're watching on TV, not all of them, but a fair amount of them are capable of riding at 90, 100 to 100%, but not really that many people outside of that. You got to be riding 4 to 6 days a week, every single week, and you can't be coming off an injury. You can't be coming off a 6-month, just had winter.
Yeah.
Like, if you're coming off of a long time off the bike, if you ride once a week, if you ride twice a week, if you ride twice a week and then race on the weekends, that's not enough to ride at 100%. It's just not. I know that's not the answer people want to hear, but what that leads to, Shaking Blake, is people getting hurt. Because not only are you not going to be able to really progress, because you cannot consciously think of anything out there other than trying not to kill yourself.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
You need to be
in just survival.
full control. It needs to be your situation. Every time you get on a dirt bike, you have to control that entire process. That entire situation needs to be yours.
Oh, I didn't experience that until 2.5 years ago.
Right.
Probably.
And the second it's not, that's when it just instantly becomes more and more dangerous.
And people think that it's not supposed to feel that way.
Yeah.
Most people maybe listening to this have never even experienced it feeling that way when they're on the bike.
Yeah.
It probably usually feels like an extreme adrenaline rush to where they feel like at any second maybe they could explode themselves.
Yeah.
Right? When I race, I know I take this pretty far to one extreme. When I race, I'm cash with it. I keep it super cash.
Cash with the Berkeys.
So casual to, like, I'm just making the best decisions the whole time.
Yeah.
I think about all of these little things. I mean, you don't want to overthink it, but there was a lot of LCQs I was in a decent amount of LCQs this year. Atlanta would be a good example. Like, that was so thought out and intentional, that entire race on my end. Most people would not be able to do that because that was me riding at 75%. So there was a nice buffer there of, like,
you're in control.
Not full exertion.
Yeah, you're
I'm completely in control, and I can also think about things consciously and take the time to think about things consciously, which, therefore, I can be logical and make correct decisions.
Yeah,
People make some silly freaking decisions on bikes. It's like their brains just aren't even in their head.
I think it's ego is what comes into play.
Yeah,
right?
could be.
We're racers. We want to go fast. We talk about this all the time at classes. That's what happens. Like, for some reason, there's something in your brain that says you can go that pace, you can go faster. And then you start to forget about everything else, and all you're focusing on is chasing the rabbit. And that's when you make mistakes.
It was a thing today, which we didn't really catch on to it too much, but at the beginning, when we were doing our warm-up, they were all chasing us down.
I know.
That was all they were trying to do, was catch us.
Yeah.
And then when we brought up the conversation of make sure that you are going slow, the parents were just like in the background just doing that.
Hey,
Because the kids were sending it.
they did great too.
They did
today.
Yeah.
really
I
well.
was very impressed. Everyone shut down the speed and like worked
Yep.
today.
Yeah.
It was cool to watch.
Yeah, and the three, Connor, Miles,
Matthew.
and Matthew on the Huskies were good riders.
Yeah.
Good riders.
Yes.
And so it was cool to see them
Yep.
take it way down and to think about everything that I was trying to tell them to think about. That's good. That's what will create a good rider. And then for Maddox, shout out Maddox, he did a great job of just trusting us, and then it was quickly compounding confidence.
Hey,
Yeah.
he even killed it. We did what, 3 hours with them, and he's been riding for 3 months.
Yeah, he's
and I
brand
feel
new.
like his confidence went through the roof.
Yeah.
He's
Like-
brand new, and also he's not in great shape at the moment, right? So he was getting tired fast, and I think that's a
Yeah.
common thing for him at the track. So he's only been riding for 3-4 months,
Also,
and I don't
he's,
think he gets a lot of riding in that 3 or 4 months.
he's in
necessarily.
between bike sizes too.
Mm-hmm.
That's another difficult thing. It's like he's just a little bit too small for the 85, but then he's just too big for the 65, and it's like,
I urge all of you to look at it from a different perspective moving forward and try to progress by not. Progression happens when you aren't pushing the limits of speed. Progression happens when you're trying to correct the more important things than speed, which is your technical foundation. And then the beautiful thing is the speed will just start to naturally come. Because what will happen is you can safely bump up your ceiling kind of from a distance, is the way that I would explain it when you're building a technical foundation, is you bump it up from here, where when people try to bump it up by just riding the ragged edge, they can, but they're doing this and they're crossing the threshold. So therefore the injuries happen, and then you come back to here and then you're kind of doing this again, where that other guy is just slowly doing this.
If you guys enjoyed this podcast clip and you want to listen to full episodes, go download them. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and I think that's it. Go download them there, give them a listen. If you want to watch full episodes, which I tell you what, it's even better to do that, go to club.themotoacademy.com, because Moto Academy subscribers inside of the app have exclusive access to watch the entire episodes. And not only that, the subscribers actually can send in their questions to be answered on the podcast as well. Club.themotoacademy.com. Go subscribe.